Greetings, stranger. The name's Hjoromir, and I'm at your service. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Perhaps you need your boots shined, or your tunic washed, or need a letter delivered? But I am desperate. It's mostly because people only offer a few septims for my services. Oh, I get it. You mean my desperation is why they offer me so little. Wow, you're really wise, stranger. Can I be your apprentice? I'll cook and clean, and craft potions to ale your wounds. Really? I'll do everything you ask. Just say the word. Goodbye.
Something on your mind?
今のは何だ？いた！
Mind keeping that closed? Why, yes, it's quite comfortable in here. But when it's open, there's a bit of a draft. You know, I wasn't aware I needed rescuing. But okay, I suppose you'll do. Yes, very. But perhaps I am not that kind of girl to be so easily swayed by a pretty face. Maybe. I'd grown quite fond of it. The iron bars, the pattern of squares, and... well, I guess that's it. But I do like squares. My name is Zora Fair-Child, although it was never meant to be ironic. I was once very much a child, and very much fair. So fair, in fact, that the divines saw it fit to punish me with a smart and unbuyable face. It's always easier to blame the gods for such things, isn't it? Now, don't make things awkward. I am more than comfortable with my own burned skin. It is a burn after all. I've tried washing it off to no avail. But it hides the scars. That's a good thing. Now, I wasn't always comfortable with it, but living in a cage tends to alter your perspective. It's not just for show. Although the necromancers seem to think so. Nobody takes me seriously. But when my weapon of choice was an amulet of Mara, then the boys were quite certain of my intentions, even if that was just for show. It took some time to get a hang of it. My body did pay quite a price for my lessons. I have more scars than skin now, I'm afraid. Yet you'll find I'm a capable fighter, and if it's adventure you're seek, my lord, I am but your humble servant. The fury to your Helgen, the Aidwer to your Barenzea, the house girl to your Jarl. I can knock an arrow as swiftly as I can sever a head, but it's not nearly as fun. As a Breton, I also have a knack for spells, although I'm not the prodigy my sister was. You have my steel. Remember, a good leader is brave but not reckless, firm but not rigid. All types, bandits, wizards, heroes and alchemists, oh, and skeletons. They used to be all four. Most come north to south, but there are those who come south from Riverwood. The necromancers lay a rune by the entrance to give them a warning. You can always tell the careful heroes from the impatient ones by the number of ice shards sticking out of their armor. If you enter from the north, there's a Helgen trap that hits you with a swath of old-fashioned destruction magic. It can give you a severe tickling if you aren't careful. I get more annoyed than hurt. Oh no, necromancers tend to disapprove of having their specimens damaged. I should know. This is the 11th necromancer who's enslaved me, and all 11 have been as delicate as a lord is with his finest furs. It makes me so sad to disappoint them so. I think this last one was quite excited with his find until he brushed back my hair. I've seen that look on more than enough men to recognize it. Am I that obvious? And here I thought I was being coy. It's become a bit of a game to see what sort of hero will come to save me. Mostly it's bandits. Although they're not really motivated by the saving part. That's just a means to an end. But ultimately it just means the end of their lives. Well, handsome but not cute. Funny but not mean. Tender but not soft. Strong but not violent. Caring but not servile. I could go on and on. I want a man who's aggressive but not impatient, creative but not obsessed, and most of all confident but not arrogant. The best I ever knew was 4 of those things, but he failed the arrogance test. He didn't just cross the border between confidence and arrogance. He rode through on a gilded carriage pulled by frenzied mammoths. The scars came from adventuring. Most of them are barely visible, thanks to the one. From a distance, it may appear to be a dash of paint, a girl's attempt to look menacing. Upon closer inspection, you'll see it's a mark of a burn. When I was a flowering young maiden, I once had many suitors. Men would travel great distances to see the diamond of Riverwood. My sister, on the other hand, had no suitors to speak of. She was far more talented than I, a mage worthy of studying at the College of Winterhold. What she was not, unfortunately, was pretty. We'd fight often about the smallest of things, although they were never really about who was supposed to wash the clothes or sweep the floor. It was always about her envy and my lack of compassion. Eventually, one argument got rough. The hand she struck me with was cloaked in fire. No, I deserved it. Not the flames, but the slap. Make no mistake, I was a real bitch. Beauty tends to make monsters of us all. She didn't intend to burn me, of course. All of that anger, that rage just manifested itself into fire. You go, I'll follow. I'm right here. Now, but not then. Oh no, I was sufficiently devastated. My beauty was all they had. It defined me. But it was the ugliness that hurt the most. The way people, not just men, looked at me. Always with that cringe. They all do it. Even the polite ones can't help themselves, no matter how hard they try to disguise it. When you're beautiful, every word is met with a smile. When it's gone, the whole world is shrouded in darkness. I couldn't loathe my sister for what she did. Not now that I know her pain. right here. Does this town look different at all to you? How odd. I spent nearly all my life in Riverwood and nothing ever changed. But I guess everything looks bigger when you aren't looking for bars. I hope at least Stomp is out and about. That dog is my favorite person here. Just one. When I was little, I often went out into the woods to collect flowers. It was there that I found the dirtiest, most flea-ridden mongrel in all of Skyrim. He was also very adorable. The way his fur hung over his tender grey eyes, I called him Sir Cuddles, and I was in love. My mother was furious, yet my father had a soft spot for his girls, so he tried to find a practical reason for why Cuddles couldn't stay. He pointed to how sick the dog was and how dangerous diseases were in the wild. I cried all night, burying my face in my hands. I never even noticed that my sister was gone. It was hours before dawn when the door creaked open, and I saw my sister with a healthy Sir Cuddles trundling on behind her. She spent last of her savings on a hawk feather and a chariot skeever hide, and even brewed the potion herself. Silly me, my instincts were to hug the dog. But looking back, it's the memory of my sister's compassion that I truly covet. Alright.
明日また植えようと思っているんだけど、手伝ってくれる？そうね。あるでしょ。当ててみましょうか。オルドラーと一緒にデイドラと的押しごっこをするか、釣りに行くか、カエルを捕まえに行きたいんでしょ。私を変えようとするのはやめて。もう赤ちゃんじゃないのよ。もうすぐ大人なの。これじゃ自分がなりたい大人になれない。いいわ。泥遊びをするなり、お父さんの火事場で遊ぶなり、お友達とチャンバラごっこをするなりしてきなさい。でもこれはまだ終わっていないんだからね。
呼ばれるまでそれでもこの地は我らのもの今こそ取り戻せ夢と希望をこれは地元で人気があり私が最初に覚えた歌の一つ
Hello.
赤のラグナルですかつての英雄赤のラグナルゴルフステートから馬を立てやってきた
If you're asking if I specialize in something, I'd say I do just about everything. For instance, I used to help Sven chop lumber. That is, until the day he almost lost his hand at the sawmill. Wasn't my fault, he ran into me. But he hasn't asked for my help since. Same with Delphine. She says I broke too many dishes. I broke maybe 3, at the most. Yeah, that woman seems sweet on the outside, but beware. She has a real mean streak, too. Girder, though she'll vouch for me. And the blacksmith fella. I forget his name. He taught me how to strip leather down. I'm guessing he would have hired me as his apprentice, but I think he knew I was destined for more. I know what you're getting at. I hear the whispers. But the only pattern I see is one of versatility. I mean, I'm no fool. Yes, I can be clumsy, and Mara knows I'm not the best cook. But that's only because I'm not really concentrating what I'm doing. Why should I?
赤のラグナルです
It's not as if the lumber chopping and dishwashing is a mentally exhausting skill. I figure I can do that stuff while I fill my head with greater pursuits. The most noble pursuits that any man can endeavor: vanquishing vampires, beheading warlocks, and saving damsels from the claws of despair. Whenever I work the bench, I imagine I'm hammering my foes into submission. Whenever I deliver a letter, I imagine I'm charging the battlements of Fort Greymore. Sometimes, when I'm in the middle of a job, I'll accidentally whisper under my breath something like, "Die, you dastardly bandits." Oh, you should see the look on my patrons' faces. Although it's kind of like the face you're making now. And one not easily achieved, which is why I have to make good use of my time. Whenever I was tasked with doing something for the locals, I'd let my body do the work while my mind stayed focused in the art of battle. I'm of age, and a man grown. I can grow whiskers on my cheeks just like any old Nord. People treat me differently because of my station, but they still respect me as a man, which is more than I could say for my father. The last time I saw the old toad, all he did was bark orders and gripe. He complained my pheasant roast was overcooked. He nearly slapped me when I poured his beer and left a less than frothy head. And then he berated me the entire time I cleared his table. Yeah, but at least when he's eating, he keeps his mouth shut. The worst part is afterward, when he starts spouting racist nonsense. Elves poisoning our food, elves stealing our children, and don't tell them there's a difference between the elven races, let alone Altmer and Thalmor. They're all Thalmor maggots to him. Listening to the old man makes me ashamed to call myself a Nord. My mother is a kind woman. She always compliments me on my meals and tells me how proud she is to have me for her son. That's its own dilemma. When even I can tell my potage has no flavor, it's tough to appreciate the kindness of her words. While lies of deceit are born as spiders and die as flies, white lies can wilt like a rose and leave nothing but thorns. Just one, a sister, a real snobby bitch and obsessed with gold. Saving it, to be precise, which would be fine if she had a sense of humor about it. Whenever we went to the market in Whiterun, she'd always harass the vendors until they gave her a discount, just to make her leave. Poor Carlotta. Here she was, trying everything in her power to feed her children, and my sister shakes her down for every last septum. When we left, I told my sister, if there was one thing she didn't need any amulet or potion for, it was to become a master of cheap craft. That pretty much severed whatever relationship we had. My sister holds a grudge as tight as she holds her coin purse. And I've had enough of talking about them, as it were. At least to anyone who isn't a patron. Goodbye.
leave the way, my